Right, I'm cheating on the ninth pick because I've picked a song which features two artists. And I love this version, Mick Jagger and David Bowie, Dancing in the Street. It's just a great, fun record. Now, they've removed something off YouTube, which was a very good parody of it. But Les Dennis and Dustin G used to do the Laughter Show in the 80s. Now, it wasn't a great version, but they did a version of Dancing in the Street, like a parody. But I wish it was still on YouTube. It was the same location, the same absolute like for like shot. It was like attention to detail, but just lyrically and everything didn't quite work. But they are, my goodness. I wish that maybe someone will upload it again. But of course, Bowie, massive in the 80s. I love Let's Dance with Modern Love, China Girl on it. Brilliant at Live Aid, constantly evolved. And Mick Jagger, I think, was struggling at the time with the Stones because he recorded 2 solo albums in the 80s as well. And following the release of Dirty Work, which was a Rolling Stones album in 1986, apparently relations between him and Keith Richards went a bit downhill. Whilst Mick Jagger released Primitive Cool in 1987, Keith Richards recorded Talk Is Cheap. I've got a few tracks off that actually. And that went down well. But eventually then by the late 80s, kind of the Stones managed to work out the differences and get back together and continue their long career that they that they have. It's still going.
Still going.
But
new tour just been announced, doesn't it, in the last week? 60.
Yeah.
So they're playing Anfield and Hyde Park.
Yeah. Who's got on the drums then?
They've got a guy who has performed on the drums over the last couple of years.
Right.
Charlie's been poorly, so
right.
I can't recall his name.
I mean, obviously, a fun version, this one, isn't
it? Yeah. It's a great song. It's a great cover of the who did Dance in the Street originally?
The Reeds and the Vandellas.
Yeah. As you said, great video. This came about, I think, if I recall rightly, from Live Aid.
I think they used it on the night during the video. I'm pretty sure they did. Yes.
Yeah.
It does. It's just a fun version, and obviously, you could have had them singing it together on the stage, but with the video and obviously the MTV play out there, it would have got to attract even more attention. It just,
it was perfect.
It was. He's Dancing in the Street. Final pick from my top 10 is Family Man, Fleetwood Mac from Tango in the Night, and it was one of the first CDs that Mum and Dad got. It was an album I grew up with, constantly played, and every track off Tango in the Night is just brilliant. I know a lot of people would go straight back to Rumours as the favourite Fleetwood Mac album, but I suppose I'm biased because this is what I grew up with and listened to, and Tango in the Night is brilliant for me. I believe there's been a special edition released with extra tracks. I haven't listened to yet because that's going to change the perception of the album probably completely again. But it might be in a good way. But I haven't listened to that yet. But it was the 14th album by Fleetwood Mac from 1987, and it was the 5th and to date, probably not going to change, the last studio album that had Lindsey Buckingham, Mick Fleetwood, Christine McVie, John McVie, Stevie Nicks. Buckingham left the band later that year. So it all did change and it's never quite been the same since. Say You Will came out.
Didn't he rejoin, but then has recently been sacked?
Oh, I mean, do you know what? It'd be a film in itself when it Fleetwood Mac. It's obviously there's so many hits on Tango in the Night, Big Love, Seven Wonders, Little Lies, Everywhere. Isn't It Midnight? That's a great song as well. So for me, it's just one of them albums I can, as soon as Big Love starts with track 1, it's just brilliant. Still, I never get tired of listening.
It's an album that you would listen to from start to finish.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Yeah, there's some albums that you just dip into select tracks, but I know a number of albums on my list are the same. That you have to listen to it in its entirety. It works as an album, not as necessarily.
And I think it's because, as I say, because you've listened to it so many times as well. Even when the song fades out, you're like, well, I know such and such a song.
You know what's coming next.
You know what's coming next, and Family Man's kind of hidden away as well in the album, which. But I think it's a great album. So here it is. Those are my picks there. Definitely eclectic bunch.
Definitely. As you say, 10 great tunes. And 10 very personal tunes as well, with the memories that you've shared as to why they are your 10 favourite artists/tracks of the decade.
It's hard to pick 10. I mean, gosh, there's when you got there's things I left out, it's hard to pick 10. And obviously, if you pick another day, the list might be different. But it's 80s is so strong, so to pick just 10 is I find it difficult. I did find it quite difficult. Thank you for your company. Really appreciate it, Paul.
Thank you.
We'll be back with Paul's selection on the next show. So thank you for watching or listening, and we'll see you soon. Bye for now.
Bye for now.